Good morning to all my dear students. Here we come with the Unit 2 of your paper Inorganic Chemistry 2 BSCH 0306. We have learned in Unit 1 the first transition elements, characteristics and the properties. Now in this unit, we should learn the second, that is 4D, and third, that is 5D series of the transition elements. The outline of the presentation, the review of the previous lecture, objective or the learning outcome of this lecture, the introduction to the second and the third transition series elements, characteristics in which we discuss the electronic configuration, oxidation state of both the series elements, second and the third transition series elements. After reading out the topic, there is exercise, references and SELO, that is the student effective learning outcome of this topic. In the Unit 1, we have discussed the chemistry of the first transition series elements. How many elements are there in the first transition series? Yes, there are 10 elements come under the first transition series. If I call the first transition series, or that is 3D series, yes. The characteristics we have discussed about the electronic configuration, the oxidation state, formation of the colored ions, the magnetic properties, even with the properties periodic along with the trend we have learned of the first transition elements. The oxides, sulfides, halides, the binary compounds of the first transition series, and the complex formation and the magnetic property of the complex on which it depends on, we have discussed in the chemical properties of the first transition series. What is the objective or the learning outcome of this lecture? The students will be able to understand about all the characteristics of the second and the third transition elements, and after this understanding, student will be able to learn the comparison and the similarities, differences of the first, second and the third transition elements. So after learning the second and the third transition elements with their characteristics and the properties, the students will be able to have the similarities and the differences among all the three transition series elements. A series of the 10 elements starting from the atomic number 39, that is of yttrium, to the atomic number 48, that is of cadmium, come in the second transition series, that is 4D series. The yttrium is in the group 3 and the cadmium is in the group 12. So from the group 3, that's starting from the yttrium to the group 12, cadmium 48, it constitutes the second transition series, that is also called the 4D series. And the atomic number 57, the element lanthanum. Then after the lanthanum, from the 58 to 71, they are the F block elements, lanthanides. And 72, that is of hafnium, to the mercury, that is 80. It constitutes the third transition series, or we can say the 5D series. So we have to talk about these two important transition elements. Total 20 transition elements have in the second and the third transition series. Yttrium-39, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver and cadmium. So these all 10 elements come in the second transition series. These elements are also known as the elements of 4D series. Why it is known as 4D transition series? Because of the electronic configuration. So we can say the differentiating or the last electron in the atom of these elements enters in the 4D subshell. Okay, so 4D 1 to 10 configuration are there of these elements. That's why these elements are classified as the 4D series. To remember all the 10 elements of the second series, we have a simple sentence or a trick to remember. You can use your own trick if you remember. You zara nirbhay modi, thake na ruke na raheं, pahad par aage chade. So this you can use to remember all the 10 elements of the second transition series. U is for yttrium, Zara that is of zirconium, Nirbhay Modi, Nirbhay is for niobium, Modi is for molybdenum, Thakena technetium, Rukena ruthenium, Rahe that is of rhodium, Pahad palladium, Aage that is of silver, Chade that is of cadmium. So you can remember all the 10 elements with this simple sentence of the second transition series. The third transition series also contains 10 elements. Start from the lanthanum. We have seen 57. It comes in the group 3 and lies in the electronic configuration, that is 5D16S2, the valence shell configuration. Then after the lanthanum, it starts from the hafnium, that is 72 of the group, that is 4 5D2 6S2 configuration in the valence shell. There occurs a series of 14 elements, that is 58 to 71, which are also known as lanthanides. Because they succeed lanthanum and are closely related to that, that's why they are separated in the periodic table and put at the bottom of the periodic table F block elements. All the elements of this series have 2 electron and 6s subshell, and 5D subshell is being progressively filled by 1 to 10. So the third series, that is 5D series, so having the electronic configuration 5D 1 to 10 electrons, and almost the outermost shell is having the 2 electron, that is fixed, except the gold, which has 1 electron in 6s1 due to the shifting of 1s electron to the inner D subshell to completely fill it, because the last or the differentiating electron in the atom of these elements enter in the 5D subshell. That is why they are called 5D series. So The third transition series, that is 5D series, always having the electronic configuration 5D 1 to 10, having the 6s almost 2 electrons, but there is an exception in the stability like gold. It is having only one 6s electron and inner orbital for the complete stability. It shifts it out. So in the electronic configuration, this is different in the third transition series. The third transition series can also be remembered by the simple sentence Le Hafta Varna Rais Osama Irfan Pitenge or Hasenge. So this is a small trick to remember the third transition series. So by this lecture, you should know all the three transition series with their elements from the atomic number to which of the atomic number. So you should know about all the three transition elements. And now we start the characteristics of the first. We see the second transition element series, that is the electronic configuration. So if we see the general electronic configuration of the 4D series, that is it starts from the yttrium, that is 4D1, and it goes to the last element, that is cadmium. So 4D fills it out from 1 to 10 and 5s 1 to 2. That is the general electronic configuration. So if we see, it goes like filling from the yttrium to the cadmium, but it was observed that some irregular electronic configuration by their common electronic configuration which we have understood, except for the last three elements like palladium, silver and cadmium, which have completely filled 4D subshell. So we can say these three elements is having the complete 4D10 subshell. All other elements have incomplete D subshell. So palladium, silver and cadmium is having complete 4D 10 subshell. Yttrium, zirconium, technetium, cadmium have 2 electrons in the outermost shell, that is 5s. But niobium, molybdenum, ruthenium, rhodium and silver have only 1 electron in the last shell, that is 5s1. And palladium is not having any electron, that is 5s0. So the 0 to 2, that is the outermost uh, filling of the electron or the general electronic configuration found in the second transition elements. So here we can see the electronic configuration of the second and the third transition series. So let's see the similarities and the differences found in both the series. Yttrium is having the electronic configuration 4D1, 5s2, the valence configuration. Then zirconium is having in the order 4D2, 5s2. Then we have niobium, which is having the outermost 1 electron is there, 5s1, 4D4, 5s1. Molybdenum, that is 4D5, 5s1. Technetium, that is 4D6, 5s1, 4D4, 5, 6, it is going in the order 4D7, 5s1, 4D8, 5s1. Now after 4D8, 5s1, the palladium is having the complete D subshell, that is 4D10, 5s0. So it comes in the complete. The silver is also completed and cadmium is also completed. So these all are having the complete d subshell, that is 4d10, but their outermost shell is having different number of the electron. Like palladium is having no electron, and silver is having outermost one electron, and cadmium is having two. And rest we can say from niobium, okay, to the rhodium is having the outermost same 5s1. This we can remember likewise with the points. So from niobium to the rhodium, we have the outermost electron 5s1, and it starts from 4d4 to 4d8. The proper regularity is there, 4d4 to 4d8. And the regularity in yttrium and zirconium is having the 5s2 outermost the electrons. So we can categorize according to the electronic configuration the second transition series into the three parts. The one is having the complete d subshell, but the outermost is different, the palladium, silver and cadmium. Then the two yttrium and zirconium, which is having the similar outermost electron and the regular pattern is there. Then niobium to rhodium is another pattern having only one electron in the outermost shell, and from the d4 to d8 is having the regularity from niobium to rhodium. So this you can see of the second transition series. Now if we compare with the third transition series, let's have it the 5D. Okay, so it starts from lanthanum, that is 57. So it is having 5D1, okay, 6s2, the similar like yttrium. Similarly, the hafnium, which is of 72, that is also 5D2, 6s2, as similar as the zirconium. Then we have tantalum, 5d3, it is having 6s2. It is different from the niobium. Then 5d3, 5d4, 5d5, all 5d6, 5d7, all are from the tantalum to iridium. Okay. Tantalum to iridium. It comes having the regular manner, having the outermost electron 6s2, but the last three element of the third transition series is almost outermost is having the one, that is platinum, gold and mercury. So this is about having the platinum, that is 5d9 6s1, gold, that is complete d subshell, and this is similar mercury. Mercury is similar, gold is similar to the silver and cadmium. We have a difference in palladium and platinum, that is the palladium is having complete 4D subshell. The platinum is not having the complete subshell, 5D. So almost we can see last three elements of the second transition series and the last three elements of the third transition series is almost having the difference in the valence shell configuration, and from the third element, that is niobium to rhodium or tantalum or to iridium, we have the difference, and the first two elements are commonly having the same valence configuration. So we can see there is a similarity in the electronic configuration of both the series, second and the third transition series. So the different or anomalous valence shell configuration of the palladium, that is of complete d subshell 4d 10 and 5s0. It is due to the shifting of the 5s electron to 4d to have the complete 4d subshell to attain the stability. Though no satisfactory explanation is available for this shifting, but we can say to become more stable, that is fully filled configuration, that is having the more stable element. For the elements which we have a partly filled 4d subshell and still have only one electron in 5s, the anomalous behavior has also been explained with the effective reasoning. Only it is said for these elements that the nuclear electron and electron-electron interactions significant play the role for this type of the behavior. In molybdenum we have 4d5, in silver we have 4d10, and one electron is said to have shifted to 5s to 4d. To make the atom of these elements extra stable due to exchange energy effect, which has been given earlier to the chromium and copper also for 3D series. So in the 3D series, we have seen to attain the stability, to have the and exchange energy effect, we have seen in the chromium to the copper, and the same reason here is also for the half filled and the fully filled valence configurations. Understood? So the explanation why they are showing this type of the valence configuration figure of the complete filled D subshell or the half filled D subshell can be better explained to attain the extra stability due to the exchange energy effect. The second important characteristics now we talk about, like oxidation state. We have seen the oxidation state of the first transition series in the unit 1, and likewise similarly the elements of the second and the third transition series also exist in the various oxidation state in their compounds. So they exhibit variable oxidation state. This is because of the availability of the several electrons in the 4d and the 5s subshell, whose energies are fairly close to one another, and this is because of that it possesses the variable oxidation state and exists in the different type of the compounds. Under the different experimental conditions, different number of the electron can be used from both the subshell D and S, and they are having fairly equal energy. Because of that, it can have the oxidation state different. So you can see the oxidation state here of the second transition series, and you can see the oxidation state goes on increasing up to the middle element, likewise in the 3D. So oxidation state increases from left to the middle element, and then it starts decreasing. So this how you can see, this is the increase and this is the decrease. So yttrium to the ruthenium, we have the maximum oxidation state is of ruthenium, and then it start decreasing, and we have the lesser oxidation state is of cadmium, that is 2, and yttrium it goes for starting from +3. So it has been found for the second transition series, elements with their higher oxidation state become more stable. The iron and its next higher analog, that is ruthenium. Iron is having +2 and +3 of stable oxidation state. Plus 4 and plus 6 is unstable state. But if we talk about ruthenium has plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 6 stable oxidation state. While plus 5, plus 7 and plus 8 are unstable state for this element. So we can say the higher oxidation state are more stable. The first element is of plus 3 and last element is plus 2. Exhibit only one oxidation state. While if we compare with the 3D series, the scandium has also been assigned a very common oxidation state, that is plus 2. And because of the stable valence shell electronic configuration, like yttrium is 4D05S0 and cadmium is 4D10, that is completely, and 5S0. So when the electrons are removed, it is attaining a stable configuration. So due to that also this oxidation state is stable. Understood? So if we go for comparing the oxidation state, we can found that the oxidation state goes on increasing and then it decreases, and with their electronic configuration also, if there is a stability, so that oxidation state is more stable. All other elements show the variety of the oxidation states, both stable as well as unstable. The variability being the maximum towards the middle. We have seen, as happens in case of 3D also, the same oxidation state behavior is seen in 3D series. It increases up to the middle element, that is manganese, and then decreases to the zinc. Ruthenium, lying almost middle of the series, exhibit maximum number of the oxidation state among all the elements of the series, including the unstable one. It ranged to plus 2 to plus 8. And the maximum oxidation state of 3D series, that is of the middle element manganese, up to which maximum oxidation state it is going through up to the manganese. Up to the manganese, it shows the maximum plus 7, and ruthenium is showing plus 8, up to plus 8. So up to ruthenium, the next higher member of the iron group, and the highest oxidation state is equal to the group number. So if we see the scandium is having the plus 3 oxidation state, it lies in the group 3. Zirconium is having the oxidation state plus 4. It is lying in the group 4. So according to their group number, the oxidation state is coming. That's we are going to say niobium is having plus 5. That's why it is in the group 5. So here you can see the lowest and the highest oxidation state, which is telling about its group number, that is of yttrium, zirconium, niobium. Understood? Molybdenum. It is going to the highest oxidation state according to the group number. It's the group number 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you can see the low and up to the higher oxidation state it is going, and it is going up to the group number. Here you can see up to the 8, and then it goes on decreasing. So it has been observed that like the members of the second transition series to those of the first transition series, we can see the similarity. The higher oxidation state become more stable, and the minimum oxidation state varies from 1 to 3, and if we talk about the third transition series, we have lanthanum and hafnium is having the minimum oxidation state +3, and as same as it is going to the middle, the have +2, the minimum, and the last two elements. The gold and silver is having the minimum 1 oxidation state. So if we see this interesting behavior of all the elements, the from left to the middle of the element, the highest oxidation state is equal to the group number, and but this type of the behavior does not apply to the later elements after the middle, as like the second transition series. So here we can see the oxidation state of the third transition series. Then you can see here the minimum oxidation state +3 +4 is having tantalum, then tungsten. Okay, so these are, and gold and silver is having +1 minimum oxidation state. And for the highest oxidation state, you can see according to the group number, it is going to the middle one, like up to the osmium. So it is equal to the group number, as you see, that is +3 +4 +5 the maximum, +6 +7 and +8. Likewise in the second transition series. And after that we have not as per the order. So this you can have the similar oxidation state in the second transition series. That's why both the transition series are having much similarity in their characteristics. That's why we always read both the series together. So now you do the exercise, what we have read about the second and third transition series, like electronic configuration, the element name. I have explained how you remember all the 10 elements of the second and the third transition series, and compare the oxidation state of the second and third transition series. These are the references for the topic. You can refer to the book and the reference. So this is the student effective learning outcome. The two important learning outcome is there for this lecture: the ability to solve out the problem through an application of the theoretical and practical concept, and lifelong learning ability. That is there for the transition elements. Thank you and take care.